Bayfest in Alabama where they had troops searching 3-year-old children, training them how to be slaves. And I put in the exact headline, and it wouldn't come up, but then I went to my site and found it. I mean, they are literally censoring exact headlines now. For those that don't know how search engines work, that means they have been de-indexing. They have been removing us on purpose.
Well, that's right, yeah. I mean, that's right. You know, so we've got to make a stand. We've got to let Google know that we're not happy with the way that they're operating. You know, if we do nothing, it's only going to get worse. So we've got to protest in some way about it, and boycotting is one thing that we can do. And I'm sure it will have some effect, although Google will obviously make out that it's not bothering them at all. But you know, I mean, there's just so many different ways that they're stopping certain videos, for instance, going viral on YouTube now. You know, just a host of different ways. Fiddling the view counters, removing honors from videos, removing honors from people's channels, like they did with my channel last week, and a few other people they've done this to, and removing pages full of comments. And this is another way they keep videos out of the most discussed lists, is to remove lots of comments so that it keeps it low on those lists. And, you know,
that's right. When it's a video with a girl in a bikini, they keep all the comments, but then they remove them from ours. You'll just go in and there'll be, say, 2,000 comments. They'll just remove them and start it over to knock you off the main pages. And again, the worst part of this is they pose like they're open and free. It's just absolutely disgusting. We'll be right back.
We're on the march. The Empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Look, you don't think the bankers are going to gut you for tens of trillions of dollars. We've already got $8.5 trillion. You don't think they're just going to put troops on the streets to crack your heads and teach you how to lick boots? No, they're going to shut the web down. But for all the cowardly pig people out there, they're still going to have their NFL websites. They're still going to have their Dancing with the Stars websites. They're still going to have the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times. They're still going to have CNN and Fox News. They can't play on a level playing field. We're kicking their butts. INFOWARS.com, PrisonPlanet.com, bigger than most major newspaper websites. They're scared of that, and thousands of other prolific sites out there, so they're shutting them down. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that's why we stay on shortwave and stay on AM and FM dial, because that's all precious. But they're moving in with the digital to shut down the mom-and-pop stations. They are hitting us from every side as we go into this darkness. That's why it's important to have hard copies of all my books and videos and materials. Low-tech InfoWar, because as things get worse and worse, that information will be more and more precious. That's why if you don't have the full library of DVDs and films at InfoWars.com, you need to get them, or call toll-free to get them, 888-253-3139. And long-term, they admit, they plan within about 5 years, your computer will have nothing on it. You won't be able to buy one that doesn't. It will all be about the servers, and it'll be their servers, and everything you have will be on their servers, their system. And so you'll just have a terminal or a handheld device that dials into them, and then see they are re-engineering the architecture so there's no freedom. When video sharing sites got big, they just bought them up. So don't leave Google and YouTube. Keep fighting there and MySpace. But clone everything you do to lesser sub-sites and try to promote those and make them big. Use alternative search engines. We're going to do a big story about this. And fight for this issue, because they're going to incrementally hack the web down to nothing. Going back to John Watkins' Nuffrespect YouTube channel, Nuffrespect, you're going to be able Friday, right, to basically turn your site off for a day, or what are you planning to do?
Well, what I'm planning to do, as you mentioned earlier about uploading a video that just contains just noise and just a black screen, basically, just nothing, just as a little protest to say, you know, I'm not happy with this. And also what I'm going to do, I'll upload that before Friday, and then what I'm going to do is from Friday for a good couple of days, I'm just going to switch all videos to private so that only friends can view those videos. And, some of my videos do get quite a lot of views, so I'm sure that, YouTube should notice that. I'm sure they would notice.
What they're going to notice is the big buzz of all these sites being turned off. including the Alex Jones channel. I'm going to get the guy that runs that to shut it down. And again, because we need to show people what it's going to be like if they win.
Well, that's right. We've got to protest about this now, because if we do nothing, it'll just continue. And, it's frightening, really, when you consider, what they're doing right now. It really makes you worry about where it's all going to end up, really, I mean, Google is just taking over just about every service available on the Internet, and if that carries on, it's just going to be one big monopoly that Google owns. And, that's just the tip of the iceberg, really, because when you look into Internet 2, the way they're chopping up the web, it's just, I mean, obviously, we know the reason why they're doing it, because in order for them to, for the elite, in order for them to continue with their globalist agenda, they need to restrict the web, and that's exactly what they're doing right now. And this new policy that on YouTube now, where they're algorithmically demoting videos, it just doesn't sound right to me. It just doesn't sound fair or democratic in any way at all.
Yeah, they claim, we have a magic machine that shows that it's no longer your videos will be on top for the number of hits, which is obviously the most democratic system. It's just like Dig got big being open and free voting up stories, and then they rigged it and admitted that they'd rigged it. As soon as something gets big, they have to rig it because the patriots, the liberty lovers, the anti-war people, those that love freedom take it over. But I want to explain to everybody, the Wall Street Journal is reporting today Google wants its own fast track on the web, and it says the celebrated openness of the Internet, network providers are not supposed to give preferential treatment to any traffic. It's quietly losing powerful defenders. Well, see, the media made the people that defended net neutrality were really operatives. And now at the key point, they're flipping, and it's in the article going, let's shut down the old web. Yeah, I mean, it actually says it in this article. You'll only be able to go to the places we want you to. That's a good thing. I mean, this is it. So it's not just Google that's censoring themselves and censoring their search engines while lying to the public and holding out that they're free and open and the best. It's that they want to be the backbone for the censorship of the web, and they want to be the nexus point deciding on whose website gets through and who doesn't. So, and that's why they moved in with NASA 2 years ago. We had the CIA agent, Mr. Steele, on mentioning the head doctor in this technology who really runs Google for the CIA. They have these young yuppies as their fronts. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, it's just disgusting, really. I mean, it really is. Everything you've just said, it worries me. It worries me big time, because this is our free speech, and anyone who really values this free speech should make a protest about this and do something now. Let Google know that we're not happy, because this is our own free speech we're talking about, and I can't see it getting any better under Obama, because a lot of the things I've heard about what he's doing, I can't see the Internet getting any better with him in power.
But that's how they spin it. We're upgrading it. We're making it better. By the way, none of you will have websites. Ha, ha, ha.
Well, this is it. I mean, with Obama, for instance, I mean, the way he came to power, I know he's not in the White House yet, but there's another month to go, but everything about the way he came to power reminds me exactly of how Blair came to power in the UK back in 97, because, at that time we had a deeply unpopular Conservative government.
John Major.
It was associated with sleaze and corruption, pretty much like the Republican administration. And, they'd just been in power for too long. People wanted change, and, they wanted a government that was for the people, free of any sleaze or incompetence and corruption. And, Tony Blair, he seemed to tick all the right boxes for so many people. And, I was one of those many people who were fooled into believing that Blair was the good guy. I thought that he was the one to make, this country great again. I thought he was the one to make things fairer for everybody. But, I mean, I was fooled into it, and I fell for it hook, line, and sinker. So, it shows how easily people can be fooled,
Oh, they're running around saying censor us because we say Obama's bad, and they say we need youth brigades. We need troops on the streets. Obama will fix it. And then Obama just signed an order saying they will use troops and even non-law enforcement. They're going to be involved in every facet of our lives. I mean, we're hurtling into tyranny. And it was the same thing with Tony Blair. They bring in Tony Blair as the liberal savior, and just like you said, look at what he turned England into. As soon as he got elected, he declared war on the Magna Carta.
That's right. They say one thing to get into power, and then as soon as they're in power, they do the exact opposite. And I've seen this pattern over and over again. And I'm surprised that people haven't woken up to it by now, en masse, because, it's just become so obvious now that, by the time Blair had been in about 2 years, it was already becoming pretty clear that this guy was a phony in every sense of the word. And